Hello. I just want to say, don't waste money buying any super chats, okay? I see some already are purchased, but this is going to be a much shorter than usual live stream. Give me 1 second. Okay, this is going to be a much shorter than usual live stream due to I have a coaching call, and I want to quickly talk about a question I received, and I anybody that's ever read Reality Transurfing, the questions around excess potential often come in. And this is why, all right, now listen to me. I have to get off this within like 10 minutes, okay? I want to talk about the excess potential versus, manifesting whatever you want. If I get it out, I will do what I can with the super chats and whatnot that have already been bought, okay? Clearly, I'm going to go live again at some point. Don't worry, but I really want that because I think this is important. Okay, so excess potential. I'm going to Kim it down for y'all, and this matters, okay? Excess potential is just another fancy way of having too much care, too much needy desire, I can't live without this person energy, okay? And Vadim Zeland talks about it from the place that excess potential could possibly prevent you from manifesting something specifically. And not only, number one, is important that we are all in the mindset of you take away what you want from the great, wonderful people before us who wrote books and whatnot, okay? You take away what you want. You're creating your reality. So if you believe that excess potential could stop you from getting what you want, then you're choosing to have that belief, okay? But what's important is when you realize that him discussing excess potential is really nothing, in no way, shape, or form is it any different than when you are in your own desperate, needy state of consciousness. And if your 3D reality is only ever reflecting who you believe you are, and if you're being a version of yourself, okay, a version of yourself that feels like specific person is never going to want you, or the money's never going to come, or the health is never going to come, change of appearance, whatever else you're manifesting out there, okay? When you think that thing that you're manifesting, including people, you want it so badly but are in such fear that it's never going to manifest, that's just who you're being in that moment, and that's what reality is reflecting to you. Outside of the fact that when I make that statement, I don't mean if you're not getting any movement or if you don't see anything in the 3D, it's not working. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the experiences, the BBLs that appear against what you're manifesting. It's just a reflection of who you are being. It's only ever that. That's what really excess potential is. It's desperate, needy energy. It's a desperate state. It's a state that you want. I'm going to use a specific person because it's easier. Let's say you're manifesting someone that you already, had an experience with, okay? And maybe that person has made it very, clear to you that they don't want to be in a relationship with you. It's your decision as the master manifester of your reality. Remember, no one else can be manifesting in your reality. Everybody's got their own little bubble. If you choose to believe what specific person is saying to you, like, I don't want to be in a relationship with you, boo. I don't want to be with you. Number one, he or she is reflecting one of your limited beliefs. That's the only reason why you're experiencing that kind of feedback in the 3D. But from there, as you being the operant power, you being the I am, the universe, right? Your individual version of that, right? That's what's within you. That's your heart. That's your imagination. You make the choice from there. That's why you have the only free will in your reality. Because you're in charge of who you are. You're in charge of what you believe. I know it doesn't always feel that way, but that's what you're experiencing. It's who you are. So no matter how, I don't know, in your face specific person was saying that they're never coming back, they're never going to be with you, okay? But you want them so badly. It has such importance to you. First of all, that's what excess potential is. But that never, ever really equates to what you are able to experience out here. Sometimes I think we forget who we really are as master manifestors. This is why I say build the relationship. Build the relationship with your inner self, your I amness, universe, higher power. Even if you're someone that's very logical minded and is very, hyper focused on subconscious mind, fine. Build your relationship with it. You are only ever choosing who you are at any given moment, any thought that you decide to believe that comes in your mind. By what thoughts you choose to believe, that's who you're deciding to be. Excess potential can't stop you from anything. But excess potential really is just a desperate, needy state of consciousness. When we are in a desperate, needy state of consciousness, I can't live without this person. I can't live without SP. That's the only person I want. That's okay. You can have that specific person. You're just listening to the fears. You're listening to fearful thoughts in this moment. But the version of you who isn't in fear, who confidently, cockily believes, knows, trusts that you got that specific person. You got nothing to worry about. You know that person's head over heels in love with you, right? There's no better than you in your own damn reality. The version of you who is that confident, all-knowing, completely limitless, right? No limited beliefs in love and relationships or any other category. That version of you is already created. And you have access to that right now as you're watching this live stream. Right now. We can hear and read all different aspects or perspectives around manifestation, right? So reality transurfing, in my opinion, is really just another way, or it's Vadim Zeland's perspective on how universe works, how God works, because he does reference God. His ideas of excess potential is just Neville Goddard's definition or perspective. It's just a state of consciousness. If you believe in Neville's breakdown of the Bible, which I do, it's one of the infinite mansions, right? Already created in heaven awaiting us, the infinite mansions that this little girl used to believe that there was actual mansions waiting for me in heaven, but they're just states of consciousness. Absolutely nothing or no one can come in between you and your manifestation unless you are choosing to embody the version of yourself that believes that, and therefore your reality is reflecting it. But it's not because you can't manifest or aren't manifesting in that moment. Reality, the reality you're experiencing and living in, is always, ever reflecting you. Always. No exceptions to that. No exceptions. I plan on going back into depth about the free will concept. I mean it when I say that when you're getting upset, stressed out, worrying, doubting, you're listening to logic. You're listening to literalness. I don't even think that's a word. I made up a word, I think. You're listening to those thoughts. That's it. Another way of saying it, that's the version of self you're choosing to be in that moment. This is why I try to hammer home. Okay, first of all, there's two things here. There's a reason why I don't delete all my old content. I've said this before, because I want you guys to see it, proof of the evolution of me, so you can see every one of us is evolving. But I don't know, I'm kind of going off in a tangent. It's so important for you to know you're in charge. What I want you to really understand is this is why I say stop searching for more things wrong with you. Stop searching for more limited beliefs. Because there's a version of you who's got a plethora of limiting beliefs. So you are going to go into that version of self and keep finding shit. Because the version of you who's already limitless, you already have access to right now in this moment. We fluctuate, okay? We fluctuate through states all the time. Another way of saying that is we fluctuate through versions of self all the time. So I'm sure you've all noticed that in one moment, you're high on life. You know you're going to get your manifestation. You're not even worried about it. You confidently know it's yours. Guess what? That's you in the wish fulfilled. That's you being the limitless version of yourself who will have that manifestation. And then when you go back and you have, and I say go back, or as in go down to a less favorable version of self, and the doubtful thoughts are coming in and you're believing them in the moment, that's not you failing at this. That's you going to a different state of consciousness. That's it. That's all this is. You haven't thrown out all the work. And by work, I mean deciding to be new self. That doesn't get thrown out the window because you've landed in a state where some of your limiting beliefs feel like they're being reflected to you. And maybe you're believing shittier thoughts right now. It's just a state shift. It's all it is. If you've been someone who's been doing like daily affirmations about who you are, that doesn't go in the garbage because your state shifted. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to bed in one state and woke up in a completely different state of consciousness. That happens all the time. We don't have to be afraid of what state we're in. We just need to remember what state we prefer, which is the state where you get your manifestation, or the version of state and version of self are the same thing. And to be honest, state, version of self is the same thing as saying reality. They really are the same thing. You're a new version of self, you're in a new reality. Okay? But if you're like me and you enjoy reading all different perspectives around manifestation, just because I'm obsessed about the topic, I love it, and I love getting what I want, and I love finding what works for me the quickest, because I prefer that. I like getting what I want. I think we all do. So I enjoy reading this. That's the only reason why I even picked up the book, Reality Transurfing. And I want to be able to talk about it in the channel. I've already made videos, so it's not like one of you giving me a hard time. You haven't. I'm just saying, we don't always have to agree with each other on aspects of manifestation. To me, that shit doesn't matter. Right? Vadim Zeland had his idea on how has the idea of how reality works, how the universe works. So did Neville Goddard, and so did a plethora of other people. As long as we get to the same ending, that we get what we want, that is the only thing that matters. So if we're fearing excess potential, you're fearing a desperate, needy state. That's it. That's all it is. Don't. If something feels shitty, if something feels limited, if something is implying to you, and I'm talking about thoughts or experiences, circumstances, or people within your 3D or just what's going on up here, implies that you won't get your manifestation, then you automatically know it's a limited belief. You have nothing to fear. Throw it out the window. It doesn't mean a damn thing. And it really doesn't. Every single thing we experience, every single thought we have are meaningless. They're neutral. From our conditioning, our 3D human conditioning, we slap labels on good or bad. There is nothing that can stop you from getting your desire, including a specific person. Nothing can get in the way of that. Absolutely nothing. I'm talking from experience. I don't say that like to be in a braggy way, like, oh, I got my person. I don't mean it from that energy. I'm saying if this girl can do it, anyone can do it. We are limitless beings. We have just forgotten that. We have moments when we forget. Remember, we're doing this to break habits, breaking the habit of being a former version of ourselves. Manifestation doesn't have to be hard. When it feels hard, when it feels overwhelming, when it feels hurtful, you're probably thinking something logically. You're probably using an old life experience or circumstance against yourself. It doesn't matter if you are someone that has never successfully gotten into a relationship with a significant other that you were really into. That does not matter, and that cannot hinder you from manifesting the love of your life. That was the experience of an old version of yourself. That's all that was. But you have to see it that way. You have to decide that for yourself. You're in charge. You're the boss. You are. Not me, not other content creators, not anybody in the chat. You. Only you. Don't be frightened of that. Be excited. Be excited. You're the boss. You're the boss. And just remember, reality is doing its job by reflecting you. Choose to be the you that has whatever he or she wants, and reality has to reflect you. Don't overthink. Don't overthink. I know that's easy. Easy for me to say. But from my experience, I've been at this a while. From my experience, the overthinking is just getting wrapped up or getting ourselves wrapped up in logical thinking. A lot of the times it's because we can't figure out how our manifestation is going to come. Don't worry about it. God, universe, whatever you believe in, got it all taken care of for you. Literally. And guess what? It was taken care of long before you had that desire. I know that's not usually the message we have. Creation's finished. Creation was finished, including your desires. They were finished when the absolute created all of this wonderfulness. Okay? It's already yours. Choose that version. And I knew I was going to talk too much. I have to go. I'm already late for my call. I love you all. Don't you worry. I'm going to go live again. I told you I am totally loving these live streams. And the next one will answer the questions. Okay? But I warned you ahead of time. Don't buy anything because I knew I was going to talk. All right? I love you all. I shall see you all. If not later, probably tomorrow. Be good. Choose new self.